Um, I'm the Toastmaster tonight, and I want to welcome everyone that's made the effort to join us online. I want to commend you for attending and looking forward to learning something new and taking the time to invest in your future growth and development, and especially communication skills. And just in case you didn't hear me, I mentioned that we have several people recording. If you're not comfortable with that, just turn your video feed off. We don't want anybody uncomfortable feeling like their picture's being spread where we don't want it. And I am so thankful that we have a chance to get together. We want to welcome everybody, and I'm going to ask everyone to introduce themselves and then where you're from and one goal or something you're working towards in less than a minute if possible. I would appreciate that. And we'll start with Bob. Do you mind starting us off with the introductions?
Not at all. My name is Bob Russell. I am in Santa Cruz at the moment. I started out in Australia, however, a long time ago. Joined Toastmasters about 30 years ago, I guess, then dropped out for a while, but I came back in mostly for fun and out of curiosity. I don't feel I need to gain anything in my ability to speak or communicate, having started doing that when I was 16, I guess, in high school. So life goes on, and it's a lot of fun, and I'm interested in working with other people who are both more and less accomplished. I'm with the Santa Cruz Orators on the north coast of Monterey Bay.
Thank you, Bob. That was very interesting. We do the wave or the clap. That was very interesting. We're going to now call on Derek. Derek, could you please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Thank you, Margaret. Well, as you see, my name is Derek Garcia-Roll. I am from the Bahamas. I've been a Toastmaster since August 2016. This year, I am serving as an area director for Area 60, Division F, District 47. One of my goals is to actually take part or host or help my clubs to host a speechcraft series in order to help help some of my Toastmasters, put them in line to attain their DTMs, and also to use it as a means of growing our Toastmaster base here within the Bahamas and for my clubs. Looking forward to the next 6 weeks with you guys.
Thank you, Derek. That was very informative. I'm an area director up here in Canada as well. Mohina, I hope you have to forgive
just don't say the last name.
Okay.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Mira. I am joining here from Houston, Texas. I'm also serving as an area director in Area R. And one of my goals for this year is to get a DTM, and I was planning to do speechcraft. So my district director, she sent me this link and she said, hey, Mohina, there is a meeting about the speechcraft and you wanted to host it. Why don't you join it there and learn from there? So I said, okay, I'll try it. And I am here. And I see my district director here too, Tammy. She joined too.
Oh. Yay. That's awesome. All right, people are moving all over the place on my list here. Alice has just joined us.
Allison.
Allison, would you like to introduce yourself?
It's Alice Ann.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. I'm from Chicago, Illinois. I'm glad to be here. I've been hearing about speechcraft for a minute, not knowing what it is. So I came just to see what it was about. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you, Allison. That's great. And we have Tamisha. There you are.
Yes, good evening. It is evening, isn't it? I'm not sure if anyone's here from other parts of the world, but good evening. I'm Tammy Garner. I am Mohina's actually division director, not her district director. But she called me asking about, and she gave me a big promotion there, but she called me to talk about options to complete her DTM in pathways. And so we know we have to we have to do two things now, not just the one. And so speechcraft is an option. And with this new being online now, there are different skill sets that are needed to do the actual event. So I found out about this, Joshi doing this class, and I'm going, well, let's just go see what it's all about, because I'm that kind of gal. It's 10 o'clock at night here, and I'd much rather be curled up in my bed, but here we are. We're going to learn about speechcraft.
Thank you, Tammy. That was good. Rosemary. Sweeney. Rosemary, can you unmute yourself? There she goes.
Hi, good evening, and how are you?
We're doing introductions and what you're hoping to get out of this. I don't know if you were on when we first started.
No, I was not. I just came on. I just let me come to listen to hear what is going on. I am from Dominica in the Caribbean. Right now it is 11 p.m.
Wow.
It is the dark of night, but I said I would like to be on. Let me just follow and see what is happening.
Thank you, Rosemary. That's awesome.
Yes.
Thank you for staying up late.
Yes.
We're only at 9 here, so that works.
That's what I see.
Yeah. And I see Tom. I think that's how you say it. Tom, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi everyone.
That's normal.
I was invited by Abhijeet, and Abhijeet has organized some wonderful seminars. So when he told me about this speechcraft he's doing, I'm here. It's very interesting, and also I'm here to support him.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We are doing a little bit of an abbreviated meeting. It sounds like everybody that's on tonight is a Toastmaster already. So I don't need to explain all the rules and that kind of thing, but I think we need a word of the day. And I think the word of the day that I chose was audacious. Audacious is, for me, a wonderful word because it means showing a willingness to surprisingly be bold with risks. And I think starting and working online has been an audacious move. And there's a young fellow on here, Abhijeet, is also an audacious young fellow. I think it's a great word for tonight, and I will type it in the chat. So let's welcome our audacious speaker. Abhijeet has given over 70 speeches on Zoom in the last 5 months. Fellow Toastmasters have helped him by giving him effective feedback to take his skills to the next level. He is going to share what he learned from his experience. Please help me welcome fellow Toastmaster Abhijeet Joshi. Abhijeet, to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Margaret. First thing I would like everyone is to click the view options in the middle of the screen, on the top middle, and click side by side mode. And then take the drag bar in the middle so that half of it is my presentation and other half is me. Both the things are visible to you very clearly. Our today's topic is going to be how to be effective on Zoom. As Margaret said, I'm no expert. I just learned from other people. I was a target speaker for both District 4 and District 57. It gave me a lot of opportunities to learn from other people. So here is the agenda for today. First, we'll start with why do you want to be effective on Zoom? Next, we'll go into the tone. The third thing we'll go into is camera. One of the things is microphone. Lighting. Lighting is one of the most underrated things. And recommendations to avoid. And finally, we'll have a question session, but I want this to be an interactive. So stop me anytime and ask any questions you may have. I want to ask you first thing, why do you want to be effective on Zoom? Can you share your answers?
Because Zoom is the present medium that we're going to be using for quite a while.
I truly agree with you. Zoom is our new reality. And we still want to connect with the audience. We still want to be an effective speaker. I'm going to share a lot of things with you, but I want you to have three main takeaways. The first thing, tone. Tone is going to be your 38% of the communication. Your voice needs to be projected. It needs to be energetic. Second thing is the eye contact. You have to maintain an eye contact with the lens. The third thing, lighting. I think lighting will help people to see your facial expressions. Level 1. In level 1, I'm just sticking to mostly sitting down in front of the computer and presenting. Tone. Tone is so important. I've seen so many workshops where some of the speakers have really energetic tone. And some of the speakers have very soft tone. The energetic tone just wakes me up. It makes me pay attention to them. Our voice needs to be projected. If the voice is too hissing and soft, the audience is not going to pay attention to it. So our voice needs to be projected. Remember, tone is 38% of the communication. Camera. Camera is the easiest way to connect with the audience. So far, I've seen only 2 speeches where the speaker had their camera off. And in one case, she did not know that she put her camera off. The first thing I'll talk about is the eye contact. Back in March, I was a target speaker for District 4. We were having a dry run with a Toastmaster. While having a dry run, I had the camera at my breast level. The first thing the Toastmaster said, to have the camera at the eye level. I said, why do I need to have it at the eye level? But then I realized when the camera is at the high level, it has the perfect eye contact. When the camera is up, the perception is that you are diminishing your value. When the camera is down, the perception is that you are being dominant. You want to have a neutral effect and show your face clearly. Look at this picture. Don't you feel connected with this boy? This picture was shot at eye level. At the eye level, you have zero or little psychological effect on the audience. You want it that way. Look at this picture. This guy has elevated his laptop so that his camera lens can be at the eye level. This is what we need to do to get the camera at the eye level and so that we can show our face clearly. Body language. Body language amounts to 55% of the communication. The first thing we have to do is gestures. We need to have an open body. If I have a closed body like this, the audience will not be feel comfortable to connect with me. So I need to have an open body and have my hands open in this way. If my hands are like this, it's not aesthetic and doesn't connect with the audience. If I have an open body, it makes a huge difference. It kind of invites audience to connect with you. Facial expressions. I was doing a workshop in District 4 and Aaron Sampson, who was leading the workshop, asked us to do a 2-minute table topics. The topic was a thrilling story. When I was telling my story, I went closer to the camera and started my eyes started becoming bigger and bigger. He immediately pointed out, he said, you have expressive eyes, but make sure you are not expressing too much. Like having your eyes too big is not a good idea. Remember, on camera, subtle is big. Subtle is big. So you want to moderate yourself. Be very careful. Because anything you do, the camera catches it really well. So be very subtle in your facial expressions. Posture. I spent 7 hours to do a promotional video for a TLI event. 7 hours. And then after spending 7 hours, I showed my video to Margaret. The first thing she said, oh, your posture is very stiff. Then I realized I need to have a very relaxed posture. And from that time, I'm trying to have a relaxed posture. If you are a ninja, the camera cannot catch your movement. So you want to be deliberate and slow it down so that camera can catch your movement. Never show your back to the audience. It's very disconnecting. So avoid showing your back. I gave a speech in Palo Alto on February 24th at my friend Maria's club. A month later, I gave a speech online at a contest where Maria was there. The first thing she said, you were not very warm. Warm? I'm the same person. Then she said, on camera, you were not smiling. So smile. A smile connects with the audience. I'm still working on it. Sometimes I still don't smile, but please smile. It will connect with the audience. When my chin is down, the perception is that I'm sad, depressed. Maybe I don't want to be here. But if my chin is up, the perception is that I'm happy and excited to be here. So have your chin up. I have a friend, Harit, who has a double chin. So he's afraid of showing his chin. But I told him, it doesn't matter. We are happy and excited to see you when your chin is up. Some speakers have a tendency of swinging while giving the speech. This can be very distracting to the audience. So if you can, please avoid it and be deliberate with your movements. Filling the frame. If I'm too back, I don't feel the frame very much. But if I'm closer, my friend Solazar said, if you're closer, it connects with us. We feel closer to you. So make sure you try to fill your frame so that the audience can see you clearly, see into your eyes. Always have an understanding where your frame is. Right now, I have a small window which shows my image. So I exactly know when I'm going out of the frame and when I'm in the frame. One thing you can do is you can even pin yourself so that you are right in front of you. always think about your background. The first thing people told me is have a neutral background and have a contrast. Then all the attention is on you. As a speaker, you want to have all the attention on you. Initially, I used to have a couple of artworks here. I gave speeches at 2 different clubs, and both times the evaluator told me they were distracted by the images. On another time, I gave a speech at Intel. My evaluator pointed out that he was very happy that I had a neutral background, unlike other speakers who had a laundry basket, and he was wondering when the laundry will get done. Any questions so far? I will keep on moving. Mic. Mostly the computer mic is okay, but watch it. If you're going out of the range, then the noise is very muffled. Margaret or Carol, is there a question coming in the chat?
No,
Okay.
not right now. Keep going, Abhijeet.
Yes. So mic, mostly computer mic is okay, but watch your range. If you're going out of the range, then the noise becomes muffled or static. Please try to avoid it. Always check your mic if you're going to speak. Join like 10-15 minutes earlier and make sure the mic works and the sound clarity is there. On Zoom, most of the setting is automatic for the sound level. If the sound level is automatic, it can be erratic, and sometimes it tends to amplify the noise when the speaker is not speaking. So please set it to the manual levels, and the ideal sound level is between 50% to 75% of the volume of the mic. Light. Light is sometimes the most underrated thing. Light is so important because we need to show our facial expressions to the audience so that they can connect to us. We need to have plenty of light. If you have plenty of light, the audience can see your eyes and see what is happening very clearly. I didn't know much about light. My yoga teacher, Jennifer, taught me a lot about it. This is a shot taken when she was teaching a class on YouTube live. I took a picture because I really wanted to show it to you. You can see how much light she has. You can see her clearly when she's showing different asanas or poses. I can see exactly what she's trying to tell me. She's using a lot of natural light. You have a choice to use a natural light or you can use artificial light. Sometimes we have a light source right in front of us. We need a soft, diffused light. To make it soft or diffused, you can use a bounce sheet and just put it on the light source, especially a bulb, and the light coming out of that is nicely soft and diffused. If you want to spend more money, you can get the diffusing sheets, which help us to have a soft, white, diffused light. Some of us might not have much hair. If we don't have hair, the oil creates a halo effect on the top of the head. The easiest way to get rid of the halo effect is to put the talcum powder, or you can also use the makeup powder and it gets rid of the halo effect. Level 2. Level 2, mostly I'm going to talk about is standing up and delivering. Really understand the position of the camera lens and yourself. You want to be very visible to the audience. Like if I go too far, you can see you don't feel connected to it. So always understand what is the ideal distance for you and how it looks in the camera, also on the computer. So initially, I was using a Bluetooth headset. What happened was, when I was giving a speech, my sound had muffled noise. And because of that, a lot of audience were telling me that your sound is not clear. I have a ThinkPad. The ThinkPad does not have a good mic, so that means the built-in mic was also not useful. My yoga teacher was using this Rode mic. I knew about it, but it was expensive, so I did not buy it. But finally, when I heard her sound effect, I was blown away and I decided to invest into it. The biggest benefits are it's easy to set up, very long battery life, and clear sound. So light, as I told you before, you can use two kinds of lights, either natural light or artificial light. During the daytime, I try to use natural light when I'm facing the window. The light is just coming in. But make sure it's not the direct sunlight. Direct sunlight is too bright for the camera. I have a living room. Sometimes I did my setup in the living room. But in my living room, I have a window in the front. I have a window on the side. Because of that, my one cheek is brighter than the other cheek. So try to avoid this kind of contrast on your face. If you want to use an artificial light, try to use a 3-point light. 3-point light consists of 3 main lights. One is a key light, which gives most of the illumination on your face and body. The other one is a fill light, which takes care of any shadows created by the key light. And finally, you have a backlight, which is mostly in the back sometimes. It helps you to show your edges. Your edges become visible when you have a light at the back. The one thing we have to make sure, the backlight does not go into the camera lens. Here's something about the position of the key light and the fill light. The key light should be between 3 to 4 p.m. and it's closer to you, while the fill light is at 8 p.m. and a little bit further away from you. This is a key with a 3-point light which I found on Amazon.com. If you want more details about it, I can share that with you. I'm using it right now because it's nighttime, 8:30, and there is no natural light. I have a light source right in front of me, but it creates a lot of shadows when I'm speaking on the camera. Here are some of the recommendations to avoid. I've shared a lot of things to do, but these are also very important. The first thing, sometimes we have 2 monitors. And having 2 monitors, only one monitor has the camera, while the other monitor does not have the camera. It's very odd if I'm talking like this without looking at the camera lens. It's very distracting for the audience. So if you can, try to avoid that and try to look at the monitor which has the camera. A couple of weeks ago, my fellow Toastmaster I was looking at his video feed. He had a very bright window at the back. Because of that, his face was not illuminated. I could not see his facial expressions at all. So if you can, please try to avoid being backlit. Here are some more recommendations to avoid. Moving while camera is on is very distracting to the audience. So if you can, turn off the camera and then move and then turn the camera back on. Some of us have a camera near the keyboard, and if you're typing, the fingers look very big and the movement is distracting to the audience. So if you can, try to avoid that. Mobile phones have really good quality cameras, but their frames are smaller. So you're not visible, your facial expressions are not that visible very much. You may need to change the orientation to fill the frame. So always try to fill your frame. Virtual backgrounds are amazing. I have no problems. But if you are speaking, then if your limbs are cutting off or your ears are disappearing, It's very distracting to the audience. I was doing an evaluation of Anne at a club 3 weeks ago. She worked for 2 hours to create a perfect virtual background. I really enjoyed her background. She was giving a speech, so I pinned her. At one point in the speech, she put her hand in the hair. It felt to me that she was having a wig or something. It was very distracting as an audience, and it distracted me from her speech. So if you can, try to avoid that. Wired mics are amazing, but they have limited movement. So you'll be tied to the laptop. So if you can, try to avoid that. Keyboard creates a lot of noise while typing, and I do the same mistake. My mic is on and I'm typing, and then someone tells me, oh, your mic is on. So if you can, try to avoid typing when the mic is on. Chatting while a speaker is speaking can be distracting because it flashes on my screen. 2 weeks ago, I was giving a speech and someone started chatting. So I was like, are they trying to talk to me or is it something else is happening? So if you can, try to avoid that. Finally, here are the 3 main takeaways. The number 1, your voice needs to be projected and the tone has to be energetic to wake up the audience and get engaged and engage the audience. The second thing, your eye contact. You have to maintain the eye contact with the lens as well as having the lens at the eye level. You have 0 or limited psychological effect on the audience. You want it that way. Finally, lighting. Make sure there is enough of light so that your facial expressions are visible to the audience and they can connect with you. Questions? Any questions? I'm ready to answer them.
I have one question.
Sure.
It's regarding the hand gestures, right? You talk about the hand gestures and the body movement while giving the speech, right?
Yes.
I have been working on these techniques for quite a long time, but I'm not getting the desired result. So what kind of is there any technique that I need to apply to overcome that problem? Or do I need to spend some specific hours to get over that?
So there are 2 ways. First thing is always connect with your speech. If you're connecting with your speech, your gestures come out automatically. I have a friend, Ravi, when he writes the speech, he writes what gestures he's going to show. But when you do that, you really have to practice so much that the gestures don't come out artificial. So if you practice a lot, then your gestures become natural. So it depends upon you, how do you want it. But one thing I'll say, if you connect with your speech, your gestures come out automatically.
Yeah.
Let me ask a question that is a great interference with looking at a person when their spectacles reflect light. I like a full front light, but I have taken to tipping my spectacles that way so I don't reflect back. And that's about the best thing I can think of. I really need some rubber bands or something to hold the earpieces up so it doesn't fall down like that. So many times I can see the screen of the speaker.
So actually what happened was we are working on a project where we do the videos of the interviews, and our videographer and the editor pointed this out. And he said the best thing to avoid the glare in the glass is having plenty of light. If you don't have plenty of light, the light coming from the laptop becomes the dominant light, and that's why you can see a lot of reflection in your glasses. Does that answer your question, Bob?
I have a question.
Yes, Tom.
So Abhijeet, are you looking at the camera directly or are you looking at yourself?
I am looking at the camera. Mostly I'm just looking at my lens.
Okay, can you show us that when you look at yourself, look at your eyes, can we feel the same? Can we feel that you're looking at yourself or you're looking at the camera?
So yeah, now I am looking at the camera.
Okay.
Now I'm looking at myself.
I'm actually seeing myself.
Okay.
Can you show me again? I'm gonna do the
Going to gallery view. Going to gallery view. Yeah.
Yes.
So now I'm looking at the camera, and now actually my camera is right in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll show you something. Okay, see here what is happening. I have a different kind of setup. I'm not using my laptop camera. See, my camera is right in front of me.
Ooh,
so I'm
wow.
just looking at the camera.
And
here are the light sources with the mirrors. Like there are like umbrellas, which is trying to, yeah. So you can see how different the light is right now. And when I change the mode, how different it is.
Okay, so that's why you look so professional.
Yes.
But the thing is, so we don't have your professional equipment.
Okay.
I'm just using my laptop.
Yes.
And I was told once that when I look at my camera, my audience said she felt that I was looking up. But when I actually leveled at the right level, I can look at myself and still my audience feels that I was looking at them. So I think that will be the most ideal situation because people just can't resist looking at them in the screen, right? But so you're kind of moving your eyes between the camera and yourself so people can see your eyes kind of shifting. So that's something we want to avoid. So I just want to have the perfect level that we're looking at ourselves, but also the audience feels like we're looking at them.
Yes.
Is that possible?
Yes, it's always looking at the lens. When you look at the lens, the audience feels that you're looking at you.
Yeah, I'm
right
looking at the lens now, and then I'm looking at myself.
Yeah, now let me make you big.
Okay. So if I level it correctly.
So right now you have a lot of glare in your glasses. Yeah, okay, let's
I know, that's the thing. You just told us the.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so I'm looking at the camera now.
Now I can see that. Yep, I can see you're looking at the camera.
And then.
Yes, yes, we can see that difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the first one, it looks like more like an eye contact. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
First one looks like eye contact.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, Carol, go ahead.
A great suggestion that we do in our club is actually put a picture right beside your camera. So you're talking to the picture instead of actually trying to look down and see everybody else's reaction. So you're actually putting a picture right by your dot in your on your laptop.
Okay,
so
that's a good idea. Yeah.
And then that'll help you bring your eyes up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be great. That will be helpful. I think, yeah, as I can imagine. Thank you.
There's one more question here. Go ahead.
Yes, I have a friend who is a television film production. He teaches that in the public schools. And his point is exactly that, what was just said, to put a picture next to your camera. So it makes you feel like you're looking at someone, but at the same time, you're engaged with the camera. Because the camera is your eye to the other person's eye. And if your eye is not in the other person's eye, they don't think you're talking to them and they feel like it's rude. Well, one of the things that I have a problem with, Mr. Yoshi, is that I want to see my audience. I want to see their reactions. And I can't do that when I'm looking at this little hole. Yeah. And that's been one of my issues because I really do feed off of the audience. And that's one thing we can't do in this medium.
One thing which we are trying to experiment, I can share something what we are trying to do, especially when you're giving a humorous speech. We want like 4 or 5 audience members to have their mics on. So you can hear if there is some chuckle or something happening. So that really helps to bring the humor out in other people. So that's something which you can try.
Okay, sorry, I had a question earlier, but when come and ask the question and you showed your camera, I realized because I was going to ask, how do I know I am in the frame of the camera? But I was speaking from the side of using a Chromebook or a computer, but I noticed you have a real great camera.
No, I can answer that question. What happens is I will always have myself in front of me. So I know exactly when I'm going out of the frame and when I'm in the frame. So you need to have your frame on the laptop. You know,
Okay, I will
always,
organize it.
always pin yourself or make sure you become visible in the windows.
Thank you.
Sure. Carol, you were saying something?
I was just going to respond to what Tammy said.
Sure, please, go ahead.
Sometimes if you're really looking for the audience reaction, especially if you're doing a certain speech, I actually move the laptop right under the TV. I plug the cord into the TV and do your dual monitors. So where the light is actually where everybody's response is. So then I still can look at the response, but at least I'm looking up and not looking at my laptop monitor. And that's the way it's uncomfortable because I'm standing, it's not really set up in front of the TV, but for certain speeches, you do want to have that response, and it does help out. Back to you.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I have another question.
Sure.
It's related to the camera facing. Like when I'm practicing and recording my video, I use my mobile phone, right? Let's say at the moment I'm attending this session using with the help of mobile phone.
Yep.
So my camera lens is it's little bit towards right.
Okay.
Okay, but if you see, I'm facing it. My eyes little bit look towards the left side.
Yeah.
Okay, but when we turn to the laptop camera, okay, so it is very difficult to adjust to the lens because we always tend and used to practice in front of the camera lens. But when we are actually delivering the speech, okay, so how we should adjust that time with the computer lens camera?
So one thing is for sure, you want to practice. Suppose if you're practicing on a phone for like 10 times, then you want to practice on the laptop also for the 10 times because you need to create a muscle memory. But another thing I've learned is if you want to give a speech in a certain setup, if you can just keep the same setup, you will remember the speech faster. It goes into your muscle memory because it's the same setup every time. So you have a choice. You want to work hard, you want to practice many times, then you can have 2 or 3 different setups because it takes time for your mind and body to get into that muscle memory. So easiest for me, what works is having just one setup, and then I can become used to it and I know what's happening with it. So I'm not adjusting constantly with a new thing. Especially in the speech, you don't have to.
If you're talking about the new setup, right, or
yes,
the old setup, okay. So sometimes it's required to you need to move from one end to another end, right?
Yep.
So that time, but space constraint is also come to picture.
Yep. So that's why when you do, I would not use the phone because your frame is smaller and your place you can move is very small. Here, if you see, I can move a lot of them. I have plenty of move because my frame is bigger. So if your laptop, if you're going to give a speech on the laptop, try to work on with that frame.
Okay, perfect.
Any other questions? If there are no further questions, back to you, Madam Toastmasters. Are you unmuted, Madam?
I did press the right buttons, but it didn't work that time. Thank you so much for a very informative talk. And even if we weren't here to learn anything, I think we all learned something that we can use the next time we're on Zoom. It's now my pleasure to introduce our table topics master. And that is Carol Ashton. Carol Ashton is the president of her club. She's an area director and she's working towards her DTM. We are so thrilled to have her here. She was Toastmaster of the Year this year and she's moving up to district. I'm not quite sure what the results will be, but we're looking forward to hearing and seeing what interesting questions she can come up with for us. Carol.
Thank you, Margaret, Madam Toastmaster. Tonight is table topics. Just with a thumbs up, is everybody a Toastmaster here? We have a couple of new ones that joined. Perfect. Rosemary as well? Yes? Perfect. Excellent. Just to remind everybody for our table topics, think 5. We want the salutation, introduction, a body, conclusion, and then bring it back to the table topics master. Excellent. A new beginning. Today is our first day. Today is the first meeting of Intercontinental Toastmasters Club. What a special day this is. A new beginning means a lot of things for a lot of people. Is there something that you would like to start? Tong.
Thank you, Carol. So your question is there anything new that I'd like to start?
Yes.
Today? Well, there are so many things that we can start at any stage of our life. When we were kids, we were like sponges that the kids are always amazed how fast they learn. When I age, I thought, oh, I'm too old. I'm not going to learn anything new, or I can enjoy what I've achieved so far with my hard work in the past, like 50 years, but that's not the case. After I joined the Toastmaster, I still feel like I'm learning new things every day. So that encouraged me that I just want to learn anything new that's provided to us. For example, using Zoom, then to be a good actor in front of a camera. That's something that I was so afraid of before. So now I think I'm getting better and better, but still there's so much things to learn, and I learned a lot tonight. So to summarize that, in our life, we have so many opportunities to advance, to progress, and I want to take any of those opportunities to become a better me. Back to you, or Carol.
Thank you, Tong. Starting, let's use audacious. We are having one of those meetings with risk, trying to bring people into a format that only a few know. We're all learning about Zoom. It's been almost 7 months now since this has started. We are no longer looking into the camera like this or like this. We are actually focusing on our presentation. What one thing would you tell an absolute beginner on what you learned about Zoom tonight? Derek.
Thank you very much, Madam Table Topics Master. I would tell a beginner who wears glasses like I do, lighting is very important. You need to have a lot of natural light if you're in the daytime or in the night. Light that is in front of you, not behind you. Enough light that it will take the glare and not allow the camera's light to be the dominant light. And most of all, relax, smile, have fun. Be you. Don't worry about the screen. because this is just your audience in the four walls, but just in different rooms, different parts of the world, in their living rooms. Who knows what they have beneath their blue shirt? Slippers, shorts? I wonder. So just relax and have fun. And remember, lighten, lighten, lighten. Very important. Thank you very much, Table Topics Master.
Thank you. Looking at the time, I believe we have one more question. A new beginning. We have people all around the world right now in this meeting. What would be the best way to promote a club that's online, and how would you tell somebody what Toastmasters is? Bob.
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master. I wondered if you would ask me because a big question mark. I know what Toastmasters is, and I know its value. And listening to the discussion here, what an audacious notion to have people from all over the world. For a little while, I worked with a division of Philips, Dutch Philips, and typically in a meeting of 10 people, and this was in Santa Ana in California, there might have been 2 or 3 Native Americans, and everybody else was from all over the world. The Netherlands, another place in Europe, Scotland, Australia, as I was, India, very common. I think it is wonderful that we can stretch out to bring other people in. One of the advantages, I suppose, of not having in-person meetings is that we can meet by Zoom, and you don't have to drive over the hill. You don't have to go the distance to be in the meeting. And as was pointed out, who knows how one is completely dressed. You only have to dress for the occasion. And here I am. I wasn't planning. I didn't realize we were going to have table topics, but how delightful, wonderful. Thank you all, Madam Table Topics Master.
Excellent. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Derek. And thank you, Tong. What 3 great answers that we had for table topics. We weren't really planning it, but everybody likes to speak. That's what Toastmasters is all about. Learning, improving. We had a great session with Abhijeet. Great talk, Tong, about your response. You got 1 minute and 10 seconds. Wonderful. Derek, 49 seconds. We might want to try and lengthen it out just a bit. Bob, you won it. Excellent. You got 1 minute and 38. Wonderful. Table topics usually go for about 2 minutes, but next week we'll do some more and we'll pick some new people. Excellent. Well, I'm going to bring it back to our Toastmaster tonight, Margaret.
Thank you very much, Carol. That was a delightful table topics, and I love being able to be online and, like Bob suggested, meeting people from all over the world. Here I am sitting in the middle of Alberta, Canada, and I have people from all over the world in my living room. I love the concept of it, and it's so fun to meet new people. I am going to ask our speaker. Abhijeet's been working very hard at lining up what's coming up next. And I would like him, with his enthusiasm, to tell us a little bit about what's coming up next, and then we'll close out our meeting. Thank you, Abhijeet. That was very well done. He does a much better job than I could if I was trying to read it, so thank you. We are now going to ask for comments. Anybody have any comments for our meeting tonight and what you thought? Carol?
Hi, a lot of people came on tonight to learn more about Speechcraft. I'm wondering if we could just talk a little bit about Speechcraft and what it involves.
Okay, Abhijeet, do you want to start? No? Okay. All right. Speechcraft is a program that's set up by Toastmasters that is teaching public speaking to people outside of Toastmasters. So it's very basic. And that is, I call it the hook. We've done a couple Speechcraft sessions, and every time our club does Speechcraft, we get new members, because 6 weeks in Speechcraft gives you a chance to build the relationship. You are assigned a mentor in Speechcraft to help you with your speeches. You are given opportunities to do table topics. All of that is done hopefully with people that are not in Toastmasters, because the program is geared at a very basic level the way TI sets it up. Now, I think Abhijeet's taking it to the next level as far as Speechcraft goes. I think he's upped the ante here. I just know in our club, we have given 4 or 5 Speechcrafts, and every time we do, we have members join from that group. Carol, would you like to add in there, or Abhijeet?
Oh, perfect. Speechcraft goes from 4 to 8 weeks. And normally it's 2 learning new techniques. Abhijeet is doing 1 per night. Table topics always. And the mentorship is the most important. Is the mentorship. You're bringing that person, and they start with the icebreaker as their first one. Speechcraft material, however, from Toastmasters is not online yet. You actually have to purchase them, and they get mailed to you. So in that package, they also have the instruction book and the manual, and also the participants manual that has learning about Speechcraft, learning how to do introductions, learning how to do your first speech, how do you pick out your topic, and how to do an evaluation. That's just the first part of Speechcraft. Abhijeet, would you like to add?
Thank you. Any other questions about Speechcraft? Are we all good?
For Speechcraft, is that a requirement for a DTM?
It can be used for a DTM if you organize the whole event. If you organize the whole 6-8 weeks and have speakers and mentors and all of that organized, it can be used for your DTM, yes.
Okay, because looks like we need at some point to do it, but like at this point, I just have no idea like how to get those wonderful people to give speeches at the 6 sessions. So that's really tough, and how to broadcast your Speechcraft.
It's the advertising for us. Advertising has always been the focus, because we're looking for people that aren't Toastmasters. Toastmasters that are already in the program know. So we're looking for the new person that might be interested in being with Toastmasters.
I see. Thank you.
Carol.
May I add to that? If you're actually looking at pathways, your level 3 and your level 4, a lot of the stuff coincides with your Speechcraft of gestures and knowing your audience. So if you get some of your participants from your club to help in doing that introduction for doing the speeches for Speechcraft, they also can get credit for it. So it's kind of like a win-win situation. You actually received volunteers to do your speeches, but they also get credit for their speech in their path. And you want to target them, and it makes a perfect match. And that's how we ran ours for the last few years.
All right. Thank you, Kiara, for the great tip.
Yep. Oh, yes. Even though only one person gets credit, can clubs combine to have members pair with non-members? Is my understanding, one person gets credit for running it, for organizing it. Can members pair with non-members? Like non-members, you're talking about for speaking? Or is it, yes, Derek, I do have a speech problem. Or is it asking if non-members are helping participate in the Speechcraft? Yes, each participant in Speechcraft will have a member, because you want them to have a great experience in learning what Speechcraft is all about. So you're talking about working with that member, and on Zoom is a great way to do it because you can actually use your breakout rooms. And what we've done is we use the breakout rooms and send the mentor and the Toastmaster, the mentor and the participant into breakout rooms, and they each had 10 to 15 minutes. Can those members be from different clubs? Of course they can. They can be from like other clubs. What we do for our area is we're actually inviting our area right now is to participate in our Speechcraft, is that they can use the Zoom so we can help each other. So it's not just one club. Help each other. Can those, perfect, great, thank you. Yes, Derek.
Have you ever used any of your Speechcraft as a paid session, or you've always done them for free?
Right now, because our club is not chartered. Okay. It's offered free because we don't have any TM fees. We are trying to charter this club. It is intercontinental. This is our first meeting.
Okay.
So what we've done is use Speechcraft as the momentum to bring people in, to learn more about some of the sessions. It's also brought people from Toastmasters, and we can always bring friends who are not Toastmasters to the next meeting.
Right.
Normally what we do is we charge $40 because we're up in Canada. It's going to take a while for that shipment and everything to come in, and we also have to pay for our physical location. So while it's on Zoom, we only ask for $20. Still, that there is something for a charge for Speechcraft. It's not a lot, and that $20 goes towards their membership. Is that correct, Margaret?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Does that help, Derek?
No, yes, it does. I know Toastmasters allow you to charge for Speechcraft or even the youth leadership program as a means of clubs raising funds. And I know for me here in the Bahamas, I just think it's an opportunity that we've missed out on, not just from the fundraising or financial side of it, but just getting the Toastmasters experience out there and using it as an opportunity to bring more persons into the program. So, and that's one of the main reasons why I hopped on when I got the invitation, when I saw the invitation to come, just to check it out too. Like Tong was inquiring about actually how to put on a Speechcraft session, because I've asked persons up and down within the program on my side, and many of them were kind of oblivious to how to do it, even though they know it's a good idea, but to actually do it. So I'm so glad to to have taken part in this experience, and really look forward to the rest of it and building that connection so that I'll have participants from Canada, California, even my good friend down in the Caribbean there in Dominica as well. Probably take part and be a part of our speech, my first speechcraft session. So who knows?
Excellent. And Derek, I can send you some of the promotional stuff that our club has used and also our agenda.
Please
as
do.
well.
Thanks. I welcome that.
We have the 4-week, and I think we have a 6-week and a 5-week already established. And again, mentorship is really important.
All right.
The other thing that we use is we charge them for Speechcraft. And then towards the end of Speechcraft, we say, this $20 can go towards your new member fee. Therefore, joining Toastmasters right now is only this much. And it's a little bit of an incentive that has worked very well for us.
And also the Speechcraft, that you could get 1 to 2 credit based on what you've completed in your Speechcraft on your pathways once you've joined. So you don't have to start at the beginning. It'll actually start you in, depends. We've had people like Shay, he did 4 speeches and an evaluation. Well, he got credit for 2. Sometimes it's just getting them starting just with table topics every week, and then he did 1 speech, they only get credit for 1. So how much they participate. And Margaret did put the guest book on there if anybody would like the agenda or the promotional stuff, and also the link for the next few meetings. Please fill out the guest book. If you're unable to, put your name in the chat with your email. Back to you, Margaret.
Thank you. Any more questions? How do you feel the meeting went? That was my next question. Oh, Derek, I like the thumbs up. Yay. Yeah. I thought it went very well. I hope we see everyone again. Same channel, am I right, Abhijeet? Yes, same channel, same time, and we're looking forward to building this relationship so we can build Speechcrafts all across the world.
And start a Toastmaster club.
And start our new club, yes. We would like this club to fly. All right, any other comments before
Rosemary? Rosemary, did you have something?
Oh, I was going to say it was a very great meeting. I enjoyed the information given about having a Zoom meeting, how to have a presence on Zoom, and I'm going to practice that for my next meeting. And I will tell them where I learned the information. I got your information on Facebook, I think from the presenters in resources of Toastmasters resources, and I have invited my other members to their next meeting. So as soon as I get the email, I will forward it to them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, there's Elma. Hi.
Hello,
Hi.
I am Elma.
So Elma, hold on, Elma. Elma was with me in another meeting in California just about an hour ago about a workshop on doing humorous speech virtually. And we hop all over the world. Actually, I was in Beijing earlier this morning at 5 a.m. But Elma, you go.
All right, thank you, Toastmaster Derek. Yes, hello everyone. I think it's what, good night there?
Yes.
Oh, good night. Hello, Toastmasters, and guess me. It is a pleasure to be in your meeting. Like Toastmaster Derek said, we hop all over the world thanks to Zoom meetings, which without it, we would not have had an opportunity to visit you. And I'm so sorry I missed half of the meeting because like Derek said that we were in another meeting, so we just got the information. And of course, I'm wide awake, so I said, I made a U-turn and came to your meeting, and I'm glad that I came. And it is very interesting, especially about the speech craft. I saw it on the Toastmasters website, and I promised to go back and actually look at it. But now that you're recording it and sending the material, I signed the guest book, and I also put my email address in this so I don't miss it. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to visiting you again. Great meeting. Thank you for having me.